guys, this is Matt Brunet, and welcome to Movie News Weekly, hosted by FilmBook. Now, before we begin, let's take a look at what we got in this week's news, which includes a blind man who just beat up the Suicide Squad, The Rock is up front with the next Jumanji, Shrek is universal, Shrek is life, a failure of biblical proportions, who will tell more of the Croods' adventures, when Doctor Strange needs help from Rick, Waltz could be helping out a cyborg, who's working with the Dark Justice League, Ocean Lady number 8, and Cruz needs to talk about that Mission Impossible money. So with that said, let's get things started. Say what you will about the old man, he could still kick your butt and own the box office at the same time. Don't Breathe has surpassed everyone's expectations and launched into first place at the box office with $26 million during the weekend. This puts Suicide Squad down into second place on its fourth weekend by only getting $12 million. Meanwhile, Kubo and the Two Strings made a sudden jump from fourth to third place by getting about $8 million, which is approximately more than a third less than when it debuted last weekend, and made more than the other animated film, Sausage Party, which only made more than $7.5 million. The other new film this week, Mechanic Resurrection, started off low with just $7.5 million. Following from behind include the reboot of Pete's Dragon with less than $7.5 million, War Dogs with more than $7 million, and Bad Moms with less than $6 million. At least it'll give you some sort of idea of what it can be about. On Instagram, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson revealed that the filming for the 8th Fast and Furious movie is finally complete. But what makes that Instagram post newsworthy is that he also revealed that he will begin working on the Jumanji movie with Kevin Hart and Jack Black in 2 weeks, as well as stating that it will not be a reboot to the 1995 Robin Williams film, but rather a continuation to the story. The next Jumanji movie will be directed by James Kasdan, and the movie is scheduled to be released under Sony on July 28th next year. No, this is not old news, they just sealed the deal. Comcast has officially closed its acquisition of DreamWorks Animation for $3.8 billion. The current CEO of the company, Jeffrey Katzenberg, will be staying, but he will now be the chairman of DreamWorks New Media, which is in charge of Awesomeness TV and Nova. While the company's movies are still going to be distributed by Fox, they will be under the Universal banner in 2019, starting with Shrek 5 and Edgar Wright's Shadows. DreamWorks has recently reported that it did earn a net income of $9.4 million for its Netflix shows and Kung Fu Panda 3. It's the biggest chariot race that no one cared about. The latest biblical epic Ben-Hur seems to be heading straight as a box office bomb by potentially losing $100 million. The movie cost more than $100 million to produce, on top of the extra millions on the marketing, but on its opening weekend last week, it has only managed to start with $11.2 million. However, others say that Paramount and MGM might only lose about $60 to $75 million because the home media sales could give it a bit of a boost. This is currently the 4th box office flop under Paramount Pictures, as they failed to bring in the money with Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Zoolander 2, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. They may not get their 2017 release, but the family will get some new writers. DreamWorks Animation has hired Kevin and Dan Hageman to write the new script for The Croods 2. It was recently reported that the movie was supposed to be released during the Christmas time of 2017, but had to be pushed back in an unconfirmed date in 2018. The Hageman brothers had previous experience writing other animated films outside of the Lego Movie, as they started out with Hotel Transylvania, are currently writing the Lego Ninjago Movie, and also working with Guillermo del Toro on the Netflix series Troll Hunters. Someone had to step in for some quick tune-ups. Dan Harmon, co-creator of hit series like Community and Rick and Morty, was hired by Marvel Studios to write some last-minute addition scenes for Doctor Strange. This is the first time for Harmon to write material for a superhero movie, as he previously did writing for animated films like Monster House and Kung Fu Panda. The original script was written by Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill, and the movie is ready to be out in theaters on November 6th this year. The mentor to take care of the cyborg has been found. Christoph Waltz is currently in talks with Fox to be one of the stars of Alita: Battle Angel. Directed by Robert Rodriguez, the movie will be based on the popular manga of the same name about a cyborg in the 26th century, who will be played by Rosa Salazar. If Waltz accepts, he will be playing Dr. Ido, who finds the cyborg and later would be her mentor. The movie also includes some all-star producers, including James Cameron and Jon Favreau. Fox is planning on making this movie big with a budget estimated between $175 and $200 million, with a release date on July 20th, 2018. Liman is about to get a whole lot darker. Doug Liman is on board to be the director of DC's Dark Universe, or as others call it, Justice League Dark. No word on what the plot will be, since it's under wraps, but the cast of characters in the darker Justice League include John Constantine, Deadman, Etrigan the Demon, Swamp Thing, and Zatanna. The script is being written by Michael Giglio, and it was supposed to be directed by Guillermo del Toro, but it left the movie shelved for a bit since he was focusing on other projects. They might have found their number 8. Sarah Paulson is now in talks to join the cast of Ocean's 8, the female spin-off film of the Ocean's 11 franchise. If she accepts, she will join the other 7 members including Anne Hathaway, Awkwafina, Cate Blanchett, Helena Bonham Carter, Rihanna, and Sandra Bullock. Gary Ross is directing the feature and writing the script with Olivia Milch, while Steven Soderbergh, the original director of Ocean's 11, is on board as the producer. Paulson is currently up in the runnings for an Emmy for her role as Marisa Clark in the series The People vs. O.J. Simpson. Before Tom Cruise gets to deal with his mission, he has to deal with the studio. Production on the 6th Mission Impossible movie has been put to a halt due to negotiations with Tom Cruise. Although the true reason is vague, it does have to do with how much Cruise is getting paid for the film, and the actor and Paramount Pictures are trying to find a middle ground. The production of the film was in pre-production while writer and director Christopher McQuarrie is sorting out the script. Cruise is currently in London filming the reboot of The Mummy, and filming of Mission Impossible 6 is scheduled to begin on January 2017. And that's all I've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to head on down to film-book.com for all the latest movie and TV news, along with their columns on the box office and their theatrical release schedule. Also, you can follow them on whatever social media you'd like. And while you're at it, you can follow me on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter if you're more into stuff like animation, Disney, and my weird sense of humor. If you were watching this on YouTube, then hit that like button and come subscribe to us, and also leave a little comment on what you think on the news this week. If you were listening to this on a podcast on iTunes or any other podcast service, then don't forget to rate and review what you just heard. Tune in next time for another round of Movie News Weekly, and until next week, see you later, dudes!